What's up, guys? Live here with Pro Play Games with Bobby Kennedy, coming off his fresh top 16 at ARG Orlando. How was your tournament experience, bro?
It was pretty good. Pretty much all of my losses were to me doing something stupid. I was playing Zing Metalfoes.
Zing Metalfoes, that's
I only picked up the deck like a little over a week ago, and it's like super complex, so kind of understandable that all my losses were to me. But the deck's really good. Like, pretty much if anyone can learn this deck literally 100% inside out, it's the best deck in the format.
Those are strong words. Let's see the build, man.
Alright, so for the Zings, start off with a 3 Jiaotu. He's a level 2 tuner. He's like the heart and soul of all of your biggest combos, because if he's on your field as your only monster, you discard 2 and you get to bring out 2 Zings from your deck, 1 with 0 attack, 1 with 0 defense. Pretty much any game you resolve this, you should win. Like, if you're going first, you should set up a board that's virtually impossible to break. If you're going second, you should OTK that turn.
Okay, so opening with that is ideal.
Yeah, like opening this or a way to get to it. You play 3 Chiwen. It's the other tuner for the deck, and it's really big because when your other Zings are destroyed, it can come back from your graveyard. All your non-tuner Zings let you synchro on your opponent's turn, so there's some combos you can do where you disrupt a play, you use an effect that blows up one of your things, you bring this out with another monster, and you get to make another synchro play. You play 3 of him mostly because it's that, and he's a tuner. Like, any brick hand that can at least synchro once usually can survive to OTK. I play 1 Pulao, he's the wind one, he's really bad. I was playing him because I'm playing Speedroid engine with Takatsunborg. So sometimes you have to awkwardly get him out to summon the Takatsunborg, then you blow him up to get something else. Oh yeah, all the Zings, when they're destroyed, they summon another Zing from your deck, so... yeah, most of your combos are just blowing up your Zings to get to this guy, but sometimes you get those awkward hands where you're forced to do all their weird plays. 2 Big C, he makes your stuff immune to traps. 3 Bayan, he's the only non-tuner I'm playing 3 of, because there's a surprising number of combos that actually they need the level 3 for some interaction down the line. So you just play the most of your level 3 guy. He makes your stuff not able to die by battle too. Sometimes your opponents just forget about that. They try and make like a lightning or something, and then they just fail to kill it. 2 Sawani, it's there mostly as a level 4. Just like his effects, when you synchro with him, he buffs your monsters. It's not too relevant. It's just the level 4 means you can float into him and Chiwen to make Denglong on your opponent's turn. Then for the pendulums, I play 3 of the Zefraniu. Pretty much he's there because he's a level 6. Him plus Jiaotu makes a Boxia, and then you saw the other monster from Jiaotu left behind. And when he's pendulum summoned or destroyed in a monster zone, he searches out your Zing or Zephyr spells or traps, so that he searches your counter trap. And yeah, being able to just pendulum summon him back after you do your combos just seals most games. And I play 1 Zefraniu. He's the low scale in the case that you have to search him out to finish your skills. And being level 3, there's some combos you can do where you make Denglong with him, pendulum him back, and then use a Denglong in him for Boxia. Then for the Metalfoes, I play 3 Gold Driver, 3 Steelin, 3 Silvered, and 1 Volflame. Pretty much just 3 of all the ones that you can search with Painful Decision, 1 of the one that you can't. Generally, optimally, you see 1 of these and any 3 Zing cards, including 1 that can pop. If you do, you end on like a ridiculous board that you get to negate a spell, 2 of anything, you can synchro into a Boxia on your opponent's turn to spin 2 cards, and then you get to either make a Denglong or make a Herald to negate another card. And then the last engine is Speedroids, 3 Ceratop, just best card in Yu-Gi-Oh! 1 Takatsunborg. This is more for, a lot of time when you're going second, you search this so you can make Break Sword. Usually when you're going first, you search out a Red Eyed Dice. This is it's a tuner, and it can change your Ceratop's level. So you can make it either 6, anything from 1 to 6. Usually you make it 4 for Denglong. Then for the spells, 1 Metalfoes Fusion to search. It's nice, like, sometimes you fuse, but a lot of the time you just blow it up to bring back something with Boxia, and then you draw a card. 1 Painful Decision, only 1 because, like, you don't want to be stuck with a hand of multiples. Honestly, I could see bumping this to 2, just because I'm playing a few more revival cards than my older builds. But yeah, one Zing path. This is your recovery play. Pretty much, if you go through your first turn, you stop everything your opponent does, you make a Denglong on their turn and search this to restock your extra deck, and you just kill them. And 2 Pot of Desires. This deck, like again, your games usually don't go long, and there's like a lot of builds don't play this card at all because it's like it risks making a lot of your combos weaker. But my thought is, if you have the 2 cards from it, then it'll make it so that instead of having no combo, you have that much higher of a chance of getting to a combo, even if it's not nearly as strong as what it could have been. 2 Instant Fusion. This is the other card I don't see anyone really playing. I actually didn't get to test this at all before the event, but I was just like, this seems really good, and it helps with going second a lot.
Norton's pretty good.
Norton's really good, and
is that the only target that you play for that?
I was playing Dragoness the Wicked Knight as a level 3 also. Okay. But honestly, it never really came up, and I'm probably taking out the Dragoness.
Okay, cool.
And then Soul Charge. For a while I was siding Soul Charge because it's actually, in most hands, it's really bad going first. But game 1, if you're going second, it's fine. And there's some matchups, like if you find out that you're against like Paleo Frogs or something, a lot of the time, instead of synchroing a ton, you just want to set it up so you can synchro as much as possible on your opponent's turn. They go and set all their back row, and then you're like, okay, before you end your main phase, like make 2 or 3 Boxias, spin all their back row back to their deck. And then Traps, 2 combination. I'm back and forth on 1 and 2 of these. The 2 makes it so if you open one, your combos can go a little bit bigger because you get 2 Metalfoes pops. Usually I side 1 out while I'm going second though. And then 2 9 pulls of the Zing. This is like the reason to play the deck. Pretty much, it's a searchable counter trap. It's like Infernity Barrier in that regard, and it gets a spell trap or monster effect, shuffles that card into the deck, and then you destroy a Zing card you control, which will trigger their effects. Like, a lot of people think that this makes a mistiming, but because when you negate an activation, it just removes the card from the chain. Essentially, this makes it so that as long as the thing you're negating was Chain Link 1, you still get your effects. A lot of people play 3. I was only playing 2 because your combo just searches 2, and you usually don't want to open it. I might change it to 3 because it being a Zing card, you can discard it, but I really don't feel it's necessary. So yeah, that was the main deck. It was 45 cards.
Okay, 45.
Yeah, like, if I wasn't playing the Desires, I'd probably trim it down to 40. But the Desires, again, you just want to make sure that you aren't banishing too many of your vital combo pieces. Yeah, so extra deck is 2 Denglong. I've seen some builds play 3, but you only really need 2 because generally your second one is searching the Zing path, which will put them back in your extra deck. Your goal is to just summon this as much as possible. Like, if a lot of hands, you'll look at them and you're just like, this is a brick hand, it can't do anything. But if you can go through any combo at all to get this guy on the board by himself, you usually will set up so that it's virtually impossible to die, and then you can just OTK the next turn. So even if you aren't like locking your opponent out of the game, just making this turn 1 usually means you win turn 2.
Yeah, 28 defense is a lot.
28 defense is a lot, and it doesn't matter how he leaves the field, he summons another Zing from your deck. I play 1 Yazi. There's a decent number of plays where you summon him out and just have him blow himself up to float into your Jiaochu. If you open Terror Top with 2 Zing cards, this is the same, and then the Terror Top is just as good as having Jiaochu. If you open only 1, you go into this, your combo, you get to search out your second discard. The combo is slightly weaker, but it's also safer against hand traps. So, yeah. It's also just problem solving because it can't be targeted. It's really hard for a lot of decks to deal with it. Triple Boxia, best card in the extra deck by far.
Best card, yeah.
Pretty much you summon one of these, and that first one almost always guarantees you summon a second one. Sometimes that one guarantees you summon a third one. By that point, your opponent just doesn't have any cards on the field. And generally your turn 1 play is you make double Boxia and you overlay for Hope Harbinger. Yeah, so Chaofeng's just an auto win in some matchups. If you whatever attributes you use to make it, it turns off it's like a Majesty's Fiend. Your opponent can't activate monsters to that effect. So you make this with lights against ABC, it makes it really difficult. You use it with if you summon this with Water Guy against Paleo Frogs, you auto win because the water one gives it trap immunity and it locks out all their water monster effects.
That's pretty good.
Like, they pretty much have to have a kaiju or they lose. And then for the non-Yang Zings, I played Herald of Arclight. Generally, when you're making this, it's with buy-in, so it can't die by battle. This is also like your go-to if you know you're against water, because it makes it so that they can't send monsters to their graveyard from their hand or deck for cost. And yeah, just tributes and negates stuff. High Speedroid Chambara. This is pretty much, it's a double attacker, and it gets stronger every time it attacks. By itself, it's 4,600 damage, and if you make it with Zuani, it's 5,600 damage. It's pretty much there just to seal OTKs. And then Cyframe Lord Omega. There's some combos where you have to, with your Terror Top, you make your Denglong, and then you synchro your Denglong with the Takatenborg to make this guy. Your Denglong floats into Jiaotu. This banishes itself to hit a card out of your opponent's hand, and now the Jiaotu's by itself to combo off. And then for fusions, I played Mithrilium. It was my only actual Metalfoes fusion. I've been debating playing Adamant also, just as another thing, but it almost never comes up. The fact that it's level 6 is nice because you pair with any of your level 1 tuners for Yazi, and then you get to go off that way. And like, this often baits a lot of responses, and if they blow it up, then you still float into a thing that you can synchro with. And then for instant fusion, yeah, I played Norden and Dragoness. Dragoness, honestly, yeah, like I said before, it like never came up. I'm probably cutting it. And then I played 2 Xyz. I played Hope Harbinger for negating spells, and Phantom Knights of Breaksword for just its spot removal. And if a game goes long, you can use it to blow up your Yang Zings to float. So yeah.
All around good utility removal.
Yeah, actually, both of my losses in Swiss were because I sided this out for a thing that I'll get to in my side deck, which I'm never doing again. But
let's check it out.
Yeah, so that's the extra deck. Side deck, so pretty much I had 2 MST, just Spell Trap Hate, 1 Anti-Magic Arrows. This card's insane against Peleos. Pretty much it's like a Denko that doesn't cost your normal summon. Yeah, just locks out all spell traps and spell trap effects for the rest of the turn. So if you have this and then a way to get to the Jiaotu, you just you play this, you bring out the Jiaotu, you use its effect, you go through your whole combo, your opponent can't use any traps against it, and you just keep boxing away all their back row, and you leave them on nothing. Definitely the stuff I'm taking out of my side, at least 1 more of these is going in. 2 Maxi. Honestly, I'm not even sure which matchups I like this in other than the mirror match, because even opening, like, most decks aren't special summoning nearly enough to be worth having this as a potential dead draw later on, I feel. I don't know. I've never been a fan of this card, to be completely honest, so unpopular opinion. 2 Humongous to deal with problem monsters. It's also, you can pendulum summon it, which is part of why you play this over like Gamma or any of the other ones. 2 Book of Eclipse. This comes in against decks that I expect to field multiple annoying monsters. And then 2 Dark Hole. Yeah, this comes in, it's again just trying to deal with annoying things, but this is really nice because if you blow up your own Yang Zings, they float, so it's nice. I'm probably going to trim some of that, I'm not sure. I never want to side out enough cards to fit in all of those. And then I sided the Ignister. This is probably what's going into the extra deck in place of the Dragoness. It was only, the reason I was siding it is the only time you want to summon this over Boxy is to out a Kirin. Go figure, I lost game 1 in top 16 because I couldn't out the Kirin, and I realized after the fact that with a weird play with like shuffling one of my own scales of Boxia to play an extra Metalfoe to get an extra pop, I could have OTK'd, but I was 100 damage short because I didn't have this.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, that's definitely, that's what's going to go in over the Dragoness, most likely. Last thing I was citing is Beatrice, Nirvana, High Paladin, and Heavy Slump.
What is this?
Alright, so this card says if you max C me and I flip this, you lose. If your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, they shuffle their hand back and draw 2. So pretty much, when you're going first games 2 or 3, to counter the max C, you side out your going second card, extra deck cards for these 2 guys. And when you do your full combo that's normally negate like a ton of things, if your opponent max Cs, instead you can make the Beatrice, send Heavy Slump to your graveyard, then make Nirvana High Paladin, and its effects when it's synchro summoned adds this back to your hand.
Wow.
So then you set it, you flip it, and you win the game.
Wow, that is...
Now, the downside is, it's only good if your opponent opens the max C and you open the combo. Both times, like the first 2 times of the tournament that I decided to side those in, I opened a subpar hand. My opponent didn't have the max C anyway. Then a few turns down the line, I needed the break sword that I sided out. I lost both of my losses in Swiss were because of that.
Okay.
So. This honestly is awesome as it is when it happens. It doesn't happen nearly often enough. And if you do get max seed on your combo, you can usually just make a denglong, search the counter trap, set it, and you're on the normal I sort of bricks, but not really hand, where you just float, you stop your opponent for 1 turn, and then you kill them the next turn. So maxi actually doesn't hurt the deck nearly as much as you would think. So yeah, those are coming out. And that's going to be the anti-magic arrows, and I'm not exactly sure what else, but better cards than these.
Well, great job again.
Yeah,
Super
thanks.
unique deck. Congrats again on your top 16 performance. I'll see you in the next time, man.
Yep.
Thank you.